What's going on, Trader Gang? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys have had a great weekend so far. Hope you guys had a profitable week last week. So we're gonna do a breakdown on gold and US 30, but also I'm gonna go through some of the trades that I took last week. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at news as well. Let me turn off my notifications here because this is gonna get annoying. There we go. All right. So I appreciate you guys popping on. Show some love in the chat. If you guys have any questions during this breakdown, just put them in the comment section. Let me just do a quick sound check really quick. All right, mic test, mic test. All right, we good. All right, y'all. Show some love in the chat if y'all popping on. So let me share my screen really quick. So I just want to go through some of the trades that I took last week. So we followed our strategy, but a lot of them just didn't plan out, to be honest. So this was Wednesday. So where's Tuesday? All right. So let's see. Let me move myself down here. All right. So Tuesday, we took 2 trades. The first trade we took right here. I think I took a little bit of profit right here. I'd have to double check. Let me see on my 50K. Let's see, Monday or Tuesday was what? Was the 5th. So somehow I actually took a loss. So I took a loss of 768. So that wasn't good. So and then of course we got stopped out here. So see, we waited for price to break above. So let me go to the 15-minute really quick. So let's all right, so we had one trade right here. This was at 9:30. So this was at night. So I think I took a trade right here. And I think I took profit, and then of course it went up. So Sunday. So let me see. Hold on. So Tuesday was the 5th. So I actually took a loss of $768, and then a loss of $383 the next day. So yeah, we actually kind of just had a losing week, to be honest. So, but so these are some of the trades that I took. This one, this one took a while. So like I got in at 7:30, and literally stayed in it until like until 1 o'clock. So I'm not sure why I held it that long. So, but so this was on the 30th. So the 30th. Let's see, that one actually profited $686 and $788. So that was actually a good day. So, but then we go to Tuesday here. So these were both losses. This one, I actually think I got stopped out in profit because, of course, I had my stop loss. Let me see. Go on the 5-minute. Yeah, so I think I had my stop loss, I think, right here, like right below this candle. So I ended up getting stopped out in profit. And then I took another trade, and then I ended up taking a loss right here. And then this was Wednesday. So we took 2 losses here as well. And then pretty much the whole week was all losses. And then I did take 2 trades right here. I did profit off of this one. I think I profited both off of these 2. So this was Thursday. So let me see, Thursday. That was the 7th. So the 7th, actually I took a loss of $187. So I'll scratch that. And then, let's see. And then we took a trade right here, and we actually took a loss of like $400, I think. So, because I originally waited for a price to break. I waited for a price to break right here, which it did. It broke the 15-minute opening range and then ended up reversing and stopping me out right here. So I took a loss of $405. So with that, that's on my 100K account. So the 100K account, I'm literally $66 away from blowing the account. So I have to be very strategic going forward. On the 50K account, I have $445 distance to draw down until I blow that account. So we have to have literally A+ setups going forward. So, but that's pretty much it. You know, I had kind of a losing week. So, I mean, I'll even show you guys in my journal here. So, because I like to be transparent, you know, as a trader, you know, I don't like to show fake stuff. So I'll show you guys here. This is my Tradeify dashboard. So you can see basically the losses. I had a whole red week this week. So nothing but losses. So we lost 370, 872, 724, 910. So not a good week. So I think I had 2 green trades, and that was it. So, but I ended up washing that out with the losses. So, but all we can do is just keep moving forward. So, but that's that. So let's take a look at news for next week. Let's see what we got. So this is a new week. So starting August 10th through the 16th. So I don't trade Mondays, but Monday we don't have anything. So we're good there. Tuesday we have CPI. So that's pre-market. So that's going to move the market for sure. We have FOMC, federal budget balance. So even though these are yellow folders, they could still move the market. Wednesday, we have unemployment change, unemployment rate. That's for AUD. Never mind. Nothing for Wednesday. We have PPI, unemployment claims, 5:30 pre-market, 5:30. And other than that, I don't think we'll have any movement with news. And then Friday, we have prelim consumer sentiment. So this tends to move the market. So we have to be careful with that at 7 a.m. too. So that's why it's always good to wait after market open. So, I mean, you can find trades right as market opens, but I always like to kind of have a rule of thumb, always wait at least 15 to 30 minutes before looking for an entry. Then we have core retail sales. So, of course, that's pre-market. So we don't really worry too much about pre-market. But the 7 a.m. Is what we have to watch out for. So, for instance, if gold is going up and 7 a.m. hits, it could actually drop just due to consumer sentiment because something within there, regarding the U.S. dollar, it could cause the U.S. dollar to jump up and it cause gold to go down. So it does the opposite. So we have to just be mindful of that. So, but other than that, not too much news this week. Just a little bit. Let's go to the charts. So let's start doing like a top-down analysis like we do. So I'll clear the charts here. So we're still fully bullish, even though we've like the last couple of weeks we've been kind of up and down. So we've had some consolidation on gold. So, but the overall trend is still bullish. So if you see here, like we're still bullish. Like we haven't had any like breakup structure or anything like that. So it'd be one thing if price broke below here, like this support level. So like if it broke below this, then we would have a breakup structure, and then of course we could look for a lot of sells. So, but price is still continuing to push up. So we're still bullish there. So top down wise, so the weekly is still bullish. And then we'll drop down to the daily. So again, here, price has been really consolidated on the daily. So of course you can box this, it's kind of clear as day. You can box this. So anytime you see price kind of doing this, let me break out my path. Hold on. So anytime you see price, it pushed up here, but then we pushed down to here, came up, came back down, came up, came back down, came up, down, came all the way back down. So these little marks right here. So just a lot of inconsistency. So when we see that, when we see price just kind of having an indecision, so just kind of going up, down, like kind of going sideways like this, it just means that price is kind of unstable. Like it doesn't really know where it wants to go. Like we need to have a breakout above this level right here. So let me clear this. So like we need price to, let me get this. So we need price to pretty much break out above this. To break out above this level. So in order to continue to see, buys. So because price could tap into here and then reject again. So like I don't know how long we're going to continue to do this, but so again, price can do this. Literally come back down, tap into this line, come back up, come back down, kind of do this, and then we could have a breakout. So, but again, it's still respecting this trend line. So we need to wait for that breakout. But of course, on the lower time frame, say if you trade on the 5-minute, even though you have all this, choppiness, you can still find moves. So you could still took a buy position here, you took a sell position here. This had a huge dip here. This was on Friday. So I'm not sure why price dipped all the way down here. So that's kind of crazy. And then of course we're consolidated right now. So price could easily, continue to push down, or we can come all the way back up and fill this gap. So we can literally fill this whole gap right here. So this would be all liquidity. So let me take this off real quick. Okay. So that could be a possibility on the lower time frame. But so daily wise, I want to say, let's see, where's my, yeah. So daily, I'm going to say we're consolidated. All right, daily is consolidated. So if that's the case, more than likely, 4 hour is going to be a lot of the same. So again, a lot of choppiness, just up, down, up, down, up, down. So I mean, I could say on the lower time frame here, we could be bearish because we rejected this area right here, this area of resistance. So we could pull back down. So even though it could pull down to here, I feel like it's still going to respect this and go up. So with that, I guess we could say the 4 hour is bearish, just on a lower time frame. But again, like we need to focus on the higher time frames. So 4 hour is great. Daily is consolidated. Weekly is bullish, but we need to focus on what the weekly outcome is going to be. So we need to wait until we can look for buys because the higher time frame is bullish. You know, we clearly see on the weekly. You know, unless price doesn't respect this line right here, this level of support, then that's the only time we're going to look for sells. So even if price right here, this candle, even there's a pullback, that's fine, but we need to wait until we see sells because even here, this is a good indication. Also, we have this candle right here. This is basically a bearish reversal, I guess you could say. So this wick right here is usually saying that price pulled all the way down here and then pulled all the way back. It didn't have enough volume to keep pushing down. Of course, we formed this candle right here. So of course, price came down here and then ended up closing up here. So it almost closed. Well, it came all the way up here and then pulled back. So it broke this candle, this previous candle. So this leads me to believe that price is going to continue to push up. We just need to wait for a buy entry, even on a lower time frame. So from here, we're just going to mark up, of course, some key areas. So of course, the high right here, 35.90. So we're definitely going to mark that up. So that's going to be our weekly high. Yeah, because this was Monday. This is back in April. So our weekly high was actually here. So 20, 35, 33. So I want to say that's going to be our weekly high. Weekly high, let's do let's do 35, 35. All right, so we have our weekly high at 35, 35. And then, I mean, we can mark this as a all-time high. Because I think that is an all-time high. Yeah, there's nothing higher than that. So I'll just put 35.90. All-time high 35.90. And then let's see, weekly low. This would be the weekly low. Weekly low is at 33.97. So I'll do 3,400. All right, so weekly low is at 3,400, and we'll just kind of keep it like that. You know, we have an area right here back in July. So we can mark up one more area. This is 33.21, so we'll do 33.20. I'll just have that marked up like that. We'll just keep it just like that. So it kind of just keeps the charts clean. So of course we can come down here on the daily. And we can kind of see what price was doing. So again, we just had a lot of choppiness here on the daily. So price came all the way up here, pulled back, and then created a doji right here. So we closed at 34.91. So I have a firm belief that we can tap into this weekly high again, or we may even tap into this weekly low with a pullback. But we need to wait for some bullish momentum. So even on the 4-hour, again, we had a rejection and then a bunch of little rejections, and then of course a full bearish engulfing. So which means we could definitely tap into this weekly low again before we go up. So that's what we kind of have to wait for. Or it could even go all the way down to 33.20 here. But again, if we zoom out, that's all part of this choppiness right here. So we could possibly look for sells on a lower time frame, but the overall bias is bullish. So we need to wait for that breakout. So that's pretty much breakdown on gold. Like we really want to look for sells overall, because again, we're looking at the daily, we're looking at the higher time frame. So we need to wait for a push out of this range, because this is just a lot of choppiness, a lot of consolidation. So that's it for that. Let's go to US 30. So I only traded US 30, I think, twice this week. And I was profitable, but I ended up getting stopped out. So I'll show you guys. This is a one trade that I took, which I was profitable, and then I got stopped out. So this was on Friday. So Friday, price broke out, pushed all the way up to here, and then literally reversed. So unfortunately, I had my stop loss here, so I ended up getting stopped out. So I didn't have my stop loss in profit here, because I thought price was going to have a little bit of a pullback. And then, because it even showed me right here, like I'll zoom in on this. So price pushed up to here, pulled back a little bit, which I thought it was going to just be a little retracement, and then pulled back up to continue going up, but it ended up breaking to the downside. And of course, respecting this support level, and then literally going back up and then consolidating. So if I would have had my stop loss below here, that would have been a different story, but I would have gotten stopped out anyways, because when I was in this trade, even on my 50K account, right when price pulled down to here, I got stopped out of my trade because I hit my daily loss limit of $500. So because I had taken a gold trade prior to that, and that's where I took a loss of 400 and something. So again, it stopped me out. So you got margin called basically. So that was the only trade I took on US 30. So, but let's go on the higher time frame. Let's clear all this out, so we can kind of see what price is doing. So let's go on the weekly. So right now we're saying kind of the same thing. You know, price is bullish. So again, we're looking at the overall trend. So we have some nice bullish movement here. So I'll go from candle to candle. So we have some nice bullish movement. So again, if price decides to pull down here and break this level, so again, there's always support and resistance, supply and demand. But again, there's a level of demand right here. So could price pull back down into here? Possibly could. Or there's also another support level right here, which price could easily pull down into and then continue to go up. So we just have to look at those areas. But overall, trend-wise, we are bullish. So when we do a top-down analysis, weekly is going to be bullish. So that's really what we want to look for. We want to look for buys going forward. We want to continue with this trend, continue to keep pushing up. And then we'll look on the daily here. So we can see, let's see, Tuesday, June 24th. So this is back in June. So pretty much this week was actually it was kind of bearish. So the week before was bearish, and then we did push up a little bit. So, but price tapped into this same level of resistance and then literally rejected. So, could we see a continued push down? We possibly could. So, or again, we could come to a level right here of support. The price could push down here and then literally continue to go up. So, because again, the overall bias is bullish. So weekly is bullish right now. So I want to say just because it did break structure right here, I want to say the daily is bearish. So daily is bearish. And then we'll look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour could be a lot of the same. Okay. So I think price is going to push all the way down here because we have a lot of liquidity right here. So again, this is a lot of liquidity. So all this right here. So this is all liquidity right here. So let me get a little arrow. So all this right here, this is all liquidity that can be taken out. So price, came up, pulled down, came up, and we can possibly pull back down, take out this low, take out these highs, and take out this low right here before it decides to go back up. So that could be a possibility as well. Or like I said, price can tap into this area right here, which we have an area of support and area of resistance, turn support. Price can come down to here, bounce off of it, and continue to go up. So, but again, that's on the higher time frame. So as of right now, I want to say the 4 hour is bearish as well. So because we didn't break above this area right here. So the good thing is we do have two time frames that are equal on the lower time frame. Even though this is a higher time frame, it's lower than the weekly. So daily is bearish, 4 hours bearish. So more than likely, I think we're going to look for sells in the beginning of the week because I think price is going to try to tap into this area right here. So that's what I think price could do. It could literally tap into this area before it continues to go up. So I think we're looking for buys on gold, sells on US 30. So, but let's mark up our areas here. So on the weekly, so the weekly high was here. So weekly high was right here. So I was at 44, I'll do 600. Weekly highs, 44, 600. Let's see, the weekly low was right here. So weekly lows right here. So price tapped into, is it 43.62? I'll say 5. Weekly low, 43.625. All right, so we have our weekly high, weekly low. So, and then of course we have an all-time high up here. That was at 45.320. Maybe it's at 45.310. Yeah, that looks about right. So all-time high at 45.310. All right. And then we do have another area of support right here. So of course we can mark up this low right here. If price does decide to go that far down, which I honestly don't think so. So this was at 42, I'll say 42.90. Oops. All right. So there we go. We got our weekly high, weekly low, and then we have a area of support right here. So as you can see here, we have an area of support. So it kind of aligns. So could price tap into here? Possibly. I mean, that's a lot, you know, because from the whole week, we literally went from down here, up here, and then we literally closed right here at 42.278. So can price possibly fill this? I think so. So because on the weekly, we're still bullish. So I think price could definitely fill this, even though, you know, we had a push down the week before, or in July, the end of July. So I think we're going to refill this, and we could possibly tap into the all-time high right here. So again, like I said, we're going to look for possibly buys on gold. That's the overall bias for gold. And then, of course, US 30, we're going to look for sells more than likely. So because even though it's bullish here, I feel like on a lower time frame, again, see price can easily tap into here. So because there's still a lot of liquidity down here, but we can actually surpass this and tap into here. So because even here on the lower time frame on the hour and 30 minute, like we're bullish also. So we have a bullish trend. So price could easily tap into here, the weekly high, and then maybe have a pullback and then continue back up. So, but we want to focus on the higher time frame. So of course, the weekly is bullish, 4 hours bearish, daily is bearish. So like I said, I feel like we're going to look for sells first because of the daily and the 4 hour being bearish. But other than that, yeah, because like I said, right here, there's a lot of liquidity. So price could easily tap into this weekly high and then literally come all the way down here before it goes back up. So that's pretty much it for the breakdown. Appreciate you guys popping on. Going forward, again, for myself, I still have the 100K account that we got to not so much save, but we need to basically be very cautious with it, so we don't end up blowing it. Because $66 a drawdown is like I can literally only take one contract, if that. So I have to literally have 0 drawdown in my trade. Also on the 100K account, like I said, I'm 460 $64 away from blowing the account. So I just have to be careful there as well. And then also we do have, I didn't get to share with you guys, I took advantage of Tradeify had a deal. So I took advantage of a 150K account for $50 or for $30, excuse me. So I'll show you guys really quick here before I pop off. So we have 3 accounts here. So you guys can see this. Sorry, let me share my screen one more time. All right, so let me put this down here. Here we go. So you guys see this. I have 3 accounts. So I have this new, where's my screen? So I have a new 150K right here. So new 150K account. So we're going to be trading that as well. So, but we need to really focus on these 2 accounts and get them back in the green. So that is where we're going towards for the new week. So that's pretty much it. So appreciate you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I definitely want to continue to grow this channel. If you guys have any questions regarding my breakdown, just leave a comment down below. Also follow my journey on Instagram as well. It's Nikki_Pips. You can follow all my trades there. I post every trade that I take, every loss, every win. So you guys can continue to follow my journey. I'll put my IG handle in the description as well. But I appreciate you guys. Let's have a profitable week next week. I do go live as well. So I won't go live until Tuesday because I have a rule for myself. I don't trade on Mondays. So look out for me on Tuesday. We will go live on my YouTube here and we will trade live. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend and God bless.